What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Abundant Revelations, episode 11. Right. My name's Josh, and this is...
I'm Milo.
And welcome to the podcast. We're social distancing because Milo is well ill. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I've not been feeling too great this week.
He's also come dressed as Dennis the Menace this week.
Yeah, man.
Little Beano comic.
Just thought, spice it up a little bit.
Spice it up a little bit. This is our guest, Grogu. And today he's going to be telling us all about faith, isn't that right?
I have faith in the fall.
Nah, shush. That's pretty sorry. Milo came prepared with nothing.
No,
So-
I've been knocked for 6, as they say. So I have left all the planning for this
It's like
episode
cricket.
up to Josh. Yeah, it just means like hit very far.
Okay, right. So I'm going to kick things off then. I've got 5 questions here. You got to come up with questions whilst we're going though. So it's on the spot for you.
All right, can I kick
So-
one off for you then?
Yeah, go on.
What does faith mean to you?
Ooh. That's actually my question.
I read
so
it-
you
I read
stole
it.
it. You stole my questions. They're
I
now
read it when
upside
you were
down.
setting up.
So faith to me is I think it's just like a belief, believing in something that you can't necessarily see, but you just put your full trust in it, right? Put your full trust in something. It could even be like the bus driver as he's taking you to school or to work or wherever he's taking you, that he's not going to kill you that day, and he's not going to crash. So I think it's just faith in the unknown, I guess, something like belief in the unknown. So
Yeah, I feel like a good word there is belief. Another one is hope.
hope,
Hope. It's important to have faith, belief, and hope within your life to carry you through. To be honest, I feel like life without any of those threes are not really a life worth living. But like you said,
100%.
not like necessarily only primarily religious belief, but belief in one another, belief in humanity. It's important to believe, there's hope for the future. Otherwise, we would just be desolate and despair.
That's so true, especially in today's world.
Yeah, with everything that you see on the news, I feel like now it's most important to have hope because you turn on the BBC and they're like doom and gloom, left, right, and centre. Like the world's in shambles, but then you also got to kind of like seek out the good news. Like a dolphin's been freed from the aquarium today or something.
Like Jesus saved your life. That's the best good news.
Amen.
Amen. So, you actually kind of tied it into my next one because you said not just religious things. So what I want to say is, what does it mean to have faith, and is faith just a religious thing?
Oh no, not at all. Yeah, like you kind of said earlier, like you have faith in your bus driver when you jump on the bus, and that he's going to get you to A to B safely. You put your trust. I think that's also another key word while we're like docking them down.
Yeah.
It's like trusting everything really. Like we trust God with the plan. Like we believe him. We have faith in him. Like that he's got a plan for us. Same as we trust the bus driver when we get on the bus. But like every aspect of your life is built on faith. Like even if you're an atheist, a Muslim, a Jew, a Christian, that's literally the building block that creates our life. Like when we sat down to film this podcast, we had faith the chair could hold our weight. It's
Milo had faith that he was going to come up with some questions out of nowhere too.
So yeah, Josh did give me the topic on like Saturday, I think, and
he's had 2 days.
I did sit down yesterday and try and write some, but I thought a lot of them were like similar to the ones that we had already covered on the pod. So I was like, I'll get some rest so we can film it tomorrow, and Josh can cover it. I had faith Josh would cover the questions.
I don't know. I agree with you on the it not just being a religious thing. I guess it's like I actually wrote about it in my uni personal statement. To be fair, I don't want to like spoil it because they might think I plagiarised it. Then if it comes up online, you never know. It might be like
not if you're the one saying it.
No. They don't know who I am yet. They don't know who I am. I've not turned up. Don't start till September, so they got no idea. But yeah, I don't know. The bus driver's my favourite one, I think. But even like when you eat food, it's like you put faith in it that it's not gonna, poison you or whatever. Like, your mum's cooked up chicken. Has she cooked it fully, or is it still pink? That's the question. Now you put faith in your mum. So got to do it every step of every day. So.
Also, I have faith whenever I touch a go-kart that I'm gonna win because I'm just that good at go-kart.
And usually that one fails. So. But yeah.
Hey, I'm 100% against you so far.
I've never played, so I don't think you can be.
The
Never done it.
2 times we've been, you've ducked out. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but like I was working.
Excuses, mate. Excuses.
Okay. So, the next one I want to ask is, was there anything in your life that before you found God, you put your faith into, like specific examples of like things? So not just like, your mum cooked you dinner and almost killed you. Like,
before coming to faith, that's a bit of a deeper one. I should have thought of that one myself, to be fair.
Yeah, but we know you don't the deep questions. That's always me.
Mine are usually like the light-hearted ones, like the kind of like,
Matt can testify for that. So.
Well, yeah, with your little hypothetical super trolley situation. If you don't know what we're going on about, revert back to
End slate, end card here.
What do I put faith in? Well, obviously before coming to Christ, I put my faith in like a lot of wrong areas. Obviously, I don't want to go into too much of a deep monologue here, but I used to gamble here and there, and obviously when you're doing that, there's like a lot of like superstition surrounding that. So during that long period, it was probably over the span of 3 years, like here and there, on and off. Obviously, there's like lucky charms and whatnot. So, probably wrongly putting my faith in those, and clearly, never coming out because it's not the right thing to be putting your faith into. But I think that was like one of the many factors that kind of pointed me in towards God, actually, because when you put your faith in God, all you get back is good stuff, like whether it's dressed in like gold or whether it's like dressed in a lesson, there's always something there. But like when you're putting your faith in these wrong things, all you're getting back is like negative stuff. So there's a negative example for you.
Yeah.
But to bring it back onto the lighter side of things, I always put my faith in my friends because just like Jesus, they've never let me down. So I felt like whenever I put my trust, belief, and faith into those, it was always came out smelling of roses. Giving you another saying there. Just throwing these sayings out left, right, and centre today. But yeah, no.
I'm gonna leave.
But yeah, no, just like friends, family, and yeah, so that always came out well. But how about you, Mr. Joshua?
Oh, I was going to say friends as well, but I was going to say it more as like a negative. I can't lie. Not like that my friends are bad, but like obviously it was like putting faith in people, which obviously is never going to end well, like fully, because like people get things wrong. So you ask people for advice, and then they give you advice, but it's obviously not always going to be the right advice. So I think sometimes it worked out negatively, but obviously there were times where it was positive as well. But like, I guess it was the wrong place to do, whereas now I've learned like more to put my faith in God. And I get advice from people still, but it's like I then speak to God about what they've said. Maybe I'm like, is this the right thing to do? That sort of thing. So it's less putting my faith in them and more just a little bit of advice here and there, and then God's the one I put the faith in. But yeah, so I'd say that as well. Otherwise, I put my faith in doctors when I did my ankle in last year. I mean, I was back with God then, but still. And the year before, because I did it then as well. I did it 2 years in a row.
Do you know who I would never put my faith in?
Who?
Referees. Diabolical.
Why is that? I feel like there's a story behind this.
It's just because you mentioned your foot injury, and I got many flashbacks to the five-a-side teams that we used to play for.
It's actually gutting we didn't get it on record. It was the 1 week we didn't record.
Yeah, we were there just for vibes. And
if I'd had that on record, I would have watched it back every day, probably. It would have been so
Do you know
funny.
what we can watch back? The goal of the season that I scored. Play it.
No.
Okay. No, but yeah, I think...
Play mine, though.
I think you're right in a sense that, we do put our faith in people, and obviously sometimes it's the wrong thing, but I feel like sometimes God talks to you through other people.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like last year when I think it was very much God, like, being kind of through you to me, being like, come back to church.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you never sent me that message, I don't know if I would have ever found my way back onto the path. I would like to think that I would at some stage, but your little message of, yo, do you wanna come to this church with me? And then obviously then that snowballed into me, coming every week, and then like revamping my life. So that was very much like, at the time I saw it as me putting my faith in you, but it wasn't. It was me putting in faith in God through you, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So,
I get that.
Yeah, I think you've worded it a lot better there. Like when I was saying about putting faith in friends, it's kind of like their guidance would be God led, but without me knowing it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Well,
do you want me to ask you a question?
Yeah, if you've got some.
Yeah, slide the book over.
No, you ain't having that. Have you got any in your head?
You've
been slacking, and the viewers can tell as well. They're seeing who puts more effort into this, and they're saying, we want Milo out. We want him out.
I'll bring the big guns next week, don't worry.
Me and Grogu next week, just us. So, how's faith for you, Grogu? Nice. Yeah, carry on. No, not him. You.
Oh. May the fourth be with you.
Oh yeah, well I guess he puts his faith in the Force, doesn't he? Yeah. Probably.
He's a loyal Jedi.
I mean,
Is he a Jedi?
It's not real, but yeah. Yeah, he is technically. I guess he doesn't have a lightsaber though. He turns it down to go back with a Mandalorian. He's like, nah, don't want it.
Have you just spoiled the end of the series for me? Live on the podcast?
Yeah, I have.
Cool.
And it's not live. This bit's edited out. Okay. Have you got a question?
No.
Okay, fine. Okay, so my next one is, how do you follow faith in your everyday life? This is like with God, without God, like whatever. Oh, well, that's a bit stinky, isn't it?
We had some great footage on there. Are we restarting now or leaving it?
Can you use these ones?
Or am I just talking?
Just talk to your just talk to your one.
Do you wanna we're just gonna leave that.
No, we'll just leave that. I'll sort it out at the end.
Alright,
so,
we'll take down the time.
Camera's just died. But yeah.
Can you repeat the question for me, please?
Milo's just spilled his drink. And how do you follow faith in your everyday life?
Yeah, it just goes back to that key word, isn't it? It's just trust. So when you got to have faith that there is a plan, and God is taking you in the right direction, no matter where that direction is, whether it be a long journey or a short sprint.
Yeah.
You got to have that kind of faith to the good and bad. You got to take it on and wear it. I'm not going to say the famous quote that everyone says, because Mark at the weekend says he doesn't like that quote, so I'm going to stop
Live,
saying
laugh, love.
No, the other one.
I don't know I can't remember what it was.
That's going to carry the cross.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, not do that. You've got to kind of just carry on doing what you're doing, and if you feel like you're going through adversities, then talk to God. Don't just be like, oh, why is this happening to me? Just be like, yo, Lord, I know this is a tricky time, but I know you've got me. I know I'm in your hands, and just take me where I need to go. So it's just basically being unquestioning,
Yeah, I like that.
So that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm not perfect. Sometimes I'm like, what is going on? But no, most of the time I'm getting better at just being like, I know I've been hit with this like 10 truck illness, but there's a reason I'm ill, and
Yeah.
God's gonna
He's
cure me
gonna
of this
cure
illness
you up.
at the right time. But yeah,
The reason you're ill is to make me ill today.
and then you can have the week off.
I'm already off the next 2 days. I don't need the illness. So yeah, but I don't know. I'd agree with all of that. To be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any
I'd say
expanding points?
so. Just like devotional prayer for me. Like every day doing it. Reading your Bible constantly. Like every day, pretty much. Guess it's like keeping God's word like close to your heart, I guess. Putting on the armour of God. Ephesians 6:11. Boom. It's a new one I've learned. I'm getting there. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't add too much to what you said. I don't think.
Can I ask you It's roughly a faith question. I think you can loosely tie it in.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Do you ever meditate, and what do you get out of that if you do?
I do, a little bit. I kind of do it before bed because I use Lectio 365. If you haven't heard of it, this isn't sponsored, but go use it because it's good. Where they like talk to you through things, and they're like, relax and now remember the things you've done wrong today and all this stuff, and you kind of like it helps you kind of like process everything you need to speak to God about. I think, which is quite good.
So, are you silent during that time, or do you say it out loud?
No, I say it out loud. To be fair, but sometimes when I do like actual meditation, like without like a guided thing, then yeah, I'll be quiet normally, and it's just like I kind of just start thinking of like God's words and stuff, and like what He says in the Bible and everything. And then sometimes, yeah, I guess you might get something come to you that's like a bit more like, oh, I don't know what that is. And it's like you kind of know that it's God telling you something, which is always nice, but that doesn't happen too often.
So, for myself and the viewers, what is the actual difference between like quiet prayer and meditation?
Quiet prayer and meditation. What do you mean by quiet prayer?
So, like, before I go to sleep, I pray. Like, obviously, I kind of say what I'm thankful for. Oh, sorry, Grogu, knocked you on the head there, mate. I say, like, kind of what I'm thankful for from the day, and, like, kind of what went right and kind of what went wrong. Kind of like basically a summary of the day. But, like, I kind of do it in my head. But I would never class that as meditation.
I guess it's more like prayer's like a conversation with God almost. So like, yeah, you're having a chat together. Whereas like, I feel like meditation's more like you're kind of listening to God's voice. So you're just letting Him talk to you. Like, when someone's got like problems and you're just sat there listening, being that listening friend. It's like that, but obviously God doesn't have problems. He's just telling you things. So I'd say it's like that, like gaining wisdom. Whereas like prayer is more you kind of unloading things to God and like saying, I need help with this, like sorry for these things, and God being like, yeah, that's okay, like, and kind of talking you through it. I guess that's what I would say the difference is. Yeah. Do you think that helps?
Thank you for your insight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite a good question actually. Never really thought about that, but yeah, that's what I would say. Any other questions that you come up with, or do you want me to move on?
I've got some, but they need formulating, so I'll do that whilst you kind of...
Okay, that's cool. Because this is actually my last question,
Pitch
so
me
you've not got long. But do you think it's okay to doubt your faith, and is it good to question it?
Yes and yes.
Yeah.
Speaking from personal experience, I know we had Matt on the other day.
Yeah.
And Matt, I asked Matt a faith question, and it basically was along the lines of like, have you ever like doubted, and what would you do or advise if you do start to doubt. And he said, you know, he's been fortunate enough to like never have questioned it, which is obviously, you know, one walk of life and one experience, but from a completely opposite viewpoint from me, where obviously I've not been in it my entire life, and kind of I've been in and then kind of out and then fully submerged back in.
Yeah.
It's like, I think questioning it for me personally strengthens it, because no matter how hard I look for kind of flaws or like kind of like disparities, all it does is strengthens it and kind of like then drives me on to my belief further. So, you know, if you're one of the ones like Matt, and you know, it's been your life since day dot and you've never had that second thought, that is perfect. You know, you are, you know, that is fantastic. That is your testimony. That is, you know, your credibility to, you know, the Lord. But, you know, as kind of someone who has lived the other side of the coin, where, you know, I've seen both sides, you know, for me, this has kind of been, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, if you question it, you know, every day, that's probably not like,
not ideal.
Yeah, not ideal, but like here and there, and like proper, because I think the issue is when people doubt it, then they just like then stray away. But if you doubt it and then dig deeper, it then will then strengthen it. So yeah, it's that fine line you toe, whether it's like, you know, as long as you're not throwing in the towel and being like, oh no, this isn't it. You know, you have to look behind the curtain. I think I went on a massive tangent.
No, I get what you're saying.
Can you like layman's terms it for these people, please?
I guess it's like when you doubt, it's like the way that you deal with it that's what matters. So like doubting's okay, because we're human. We're like naturally gonna doubt things, and like you even doubt like normal situations in life, like, you know, whether your mum's a good cook. Sorry, mum.
You keep bringing that one up.
Sorry, mum. Sorry, it's not you that I'm thinking about. But yeah, and it's like, so it's quite a normal thing. But obviously, I think what you're trying to say is like, yeah, it's how you deal with that doubt in your own mind, and like how you look at it, I guess. Because I don't know, you can go two ways about it, and one, as you said, was like you kind of stray from your faith. Or one is you can strengthen your faith because you look into it and you realise, actually, the doubts I'm having aren't right. And it's normally you're doubting it because you don't actually know the answer to something that's causing you to doubt. Like, you don't know the answer to why there's suffering in the world or something. So you start to doubt that God exists because of that. But then you search it up and you realise why. But some people just wouldn't search it up, I guess.
Okay.
So, yeah. But, you know, so yeah, I think your answer's good as well to my question, leading back to it. I would say to doubt is obviously okay because it's normal. I think like it's a normal human thing, but like, yeah, as you said, it's kind of dependent on your reaction to it. That's what matters. But in terms of like, is it good to question your faith? I think it is. Because I think if you don't question like your belief a bit, you'll never learn more anyway. So, you know, how can you strengthen your faith if you can't learn more about it? So I think it's good to question like certain bits of like, you know, whether it's like morals or, you know, the way that Jesus did things or whatever, and question like why he did certain things. I think it sometimes can bring out like a stronger faith, I guess. But yeah, again, it's like, you just got to be careful in how you do it, because obviously you could easily start questioning things and then think, oh well, Jesus wasn't really this great guy, but he was. So you got to remember that at like the heart of it, everything he did was for a good purpose. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've just thought of like a little analogy for it, like, and this is off the cusp. So if
Off the cusp.
this is a bit loose, so do forgive me. But the way I'm kind of picturing it is like you're a racehorse, right?
Carry on.
Right, back to what I
It's
was
going
saying. So like, with your faith, you're kind of like a racehorse, right? You start at the finish line, and there's a. Did I say you start at the finish line? No, you start at the.
Just start again. It's okay.
Okay.
A lot of things have happened.
So the way I kind of see it is, you're this racehorse, and you're starting obviously at the start line, and your goal is the finish line, and like while you're running, some people have these blinkers on, and all they see is their faith. So all they need to know is they go from point A to point B, and that's their faith. Whereas some other people that didn't start the race with their blinkers on, they started the race with no blinkers. So then they were kind of like running all over the track, and then eventually they saw the finish line and started running there. But from time to time they can look at the grandstand, and they can look over the horizon into the distance. But as long as you then focus back onto the finish line and go, no, that's my goal, that's where I need to be, that's where I need to head, that's like the main purpose. So it's not an issue if you don't have the blinkers on. That's fine. Like I said, some people are born, into this like amazing household. They have that brilliant upbringing, and that all they know is Jesus in their heart, and that's perfect. They can run their straight race. But for people that aren't born with that like luxury, and have to then kind of like find it through maybe a friend, or like I don't know, like a teacher, or like a advisor, or like even a street pastor or something as simple as that, then they see the finish line and they need to run there as fast as they can.
I like that. That's quite good. I think it's actually in the Bible or something, like I think it's Paul that says it, where it's like run the good race of faith. So I think that ties in well with that, to be fair. I've actually ran out of questions though.
I've got one to kind of end us out, and it's quite a lighter one, which is what I normally do.
Okay.
So I'm bringing back the Milo spice into it. So in previous podcasts, obviously, the card game and the prior ones, I always ask who's your favourite disciple. I always say like who are you most like in the Bible? Who's your favourite Bible? But to kind of flip that on its head and just to say who has supported you and inspired you the most with your faith, non-biblical.
So
like outside the Bible, who has been like, and it obviously doesn't have to be like just one person, but like what has strengthened your faith the most, like outside of the Bible?
I think for me, it's always gonna be big Cliff Netchell and Stuart Netchell. I don't know, just together they're like the dream team, and I don't know, just if you go and watch them, the way they answer questions, just like it's just so good. They just know the answers to like almost any question. Obviously, other than the ones that no one can answer, but like they're just hearing some of the things they say. I kind of think it just makes everything make even more sense. So when I go through moments of doubt, I remember things they've said about like the areas I'm thinking about, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what they said, and it's very true. Like you can't really see past the things they say, and often you see the people that debate them who don't listen to them very well, who start just arguing and stuff. It's like they're not actually listening, because it's like,
not listening.
I don't know, the things they're saying just don't make sense a lot of the time. And what Cliff and Stuart say is always like,
well thought
out, and they know what they're talking about. Like the guy studied theology, so he knows what he's on about. He's big like that. But yeah, I'd probably say him. Flip it to you now. Who's yours?
Yeah, one that I've kind of been watching more recently, I think his name's Bryce Crawford.
I love Bryce Crawford.
He's obviously, I think he's similar to Cliff, but I feel like he's like a lot younger, which I can relate a lot more to.
Mm.
And like he just, you know, you can clearly see he's got like a heart for God, and like, you know,
Yeah.
and like from the clips that I see where he's just like walking around like helping people, you know, he's not kind of just like, you know, preaching it or something. He's actually living it, which I kind of love.
Yeah.
Like, because
Yeah.
there's one thing to like stand in front of. I don't want it to come across as like I'm saying that Cliff does. No, but it's like refreshing to see, because yeah, there is like one thing of like, I'm touching the mic again, like standing in front of a load of people and like preaching it, but like going out and actually like living it and like turning people's lives around. Because like I've seen clips of him doing that, just like actually just offering his like time, support, and like kind of talking to people and like like blessing them with God and stuff. It's like, it's truly inspiring. So yeah, I'd say another one is what's his name,
I don't know what is his name.
George
Jenko.
Yeah,
George Jenko.
I like
do
him
like
as
him.
well.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because I never used to be able to stand him, and now recently it's like a complete like topsy turvy. Is that the same?
Well, he's come to God, hasn't he? At the same time as we
Yeah.
kind of did, so, or like a bit before. So yeah.
So
And
now when I listen to, because he did a podcast the other day with like, I think it was an atheist, and like the love that he showed him, like even though he was like sitting there like openly dissing him in front of him, and he was just showing him love consistently. It was like, that is where I want to be. Like when some people like, because you know I still have my moments when, you know, I get like, oh, that man. But no, I need to be like kind of more like George's, and just be like, when they're sitting there like slewing me to my face, I'm just like, love, brother.
yeah,
You know,
100%.
that's
It's tough to do as well, but it's how we've got to be.
So
Yeah.
they're my two faith heroes, non-biblical, of course.
Yeah, I do like both of those too, to be fair. I watch George Shanko's stuff every now and then, to be fair. Same with Bryce and his ACL injury story. I think I talked about that before, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like more practical, and I kind of get what you're saying about the preaching thing, because like you see so many people preaching in the streets, and no one goes up to them to even speak about it, because they're all there like, you'll go into hell and all this, and it's like, well, that's not going to get anyone's attention, because, you know, it's not exactly loving, is it? So that's been close up, by the way. But yeah, so I get what you're saying about that too. But yeah, I don't know. I think Cliff's not. He preaches at his own church as well, but like I think he's slightly different to a preacher, because it's more like people come up to him with questions. Because there's another guy that does it. I don't know his name though, but he always sits in a little stool, like a gazebo over him, and everyone comes up to him with questions. I don't know his name. He's an American guy. And you get like loads of different like younger people normally coming to ask him questions, and they're like, I'm gay, does God love me, and stuff like that, and he's just there like, yeah he does, and you know,
Hate the sin, love the sinner.
exactly that. I think there was a time I saw this guy as well, and there's this other guy who comes up who he does go around preaching it more, but he does it quite well, and he had like people come up to him. I don't know his name, but he had like people come up to him and stuff, and be like, oh, do you love like these people or whatever, and it's like children and whatever, and obviously he's like, well, yeah, I do, and then they're instantly like, oh, he's a paedophile and everything, and it's like, but he's then sat there like just spreading love back to them and not getting like annoyed at them at all, and I find that quite inspirational, to be fair, because it's like he obviously doesn't mean it in that way, you know, like he means it just in a normal way of like caring about people, so, you know, but that's how we gotta be. So, yeah, inspirational people. But yeah,
Would you ever do that?
would I ever do what?
Take a desk, sit on a chair, answer questions.
I think I'd do that. I don't know if I could do the preaching in public stuff. Like I want to preach, but like in a church. But that's to people that already believe it. Most of them. I think
Why
like
not?
preaching out in public it doesn't feel like the right way to do it. I just feel like it comes across more obnoxious than like. I guess it depends how, but most of the people that do it, it's like, I don't know, it seems less caring than then yeah. Then like, I don't know. It's more like you're just trying to, like please God than like by trying to get like a numerous amount of people. Whereas like I feel like God would want you to spend more time with like an individual than like a group of non-believers, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
But,
that's a fair enough answer.
yeah, so that's how I try to go about it. Like people are more likely gonna turn to it if you focus on them specifically or something. So yeah, but and what was your question though? You asked would I ever?
Would you ever take a desk and a chair and answer people's questions?
Yeah, I'd do that. I think I'd do that. I think that'd be well fun.
Alright, so look out for your high streak.
Josh is
Joshua
coming.
towards
He's
you.
coming for you. I'd 100% do that. Yeah, I'll do it in Ashford. I'll do it here. We'll get it done.
Go to the outlet. He's going to be there.
No, not doing it in the outlet. I'm not going back to that place. But yeah, have you got any additional questions to ask? Otherwise, we can call it wraps.
Yeah, I've got one more for you, Josh.
Okay, go on.
When's next guest going to be on?
Well, you see, it's Milo's turn to sort it out, so I'm going to flip the question back to him, and maybe next episode. Or the one after, if you can get it sorted.
12 or 13.
And then we will have... I've already got my next guest sorted, so just whenever, really.
Well, actually, I sorted a guest out for this episode. Grogu.
Hey! I don't know if he's even in shot anymore.
He's probably
He's in
not.
shot
This is
now.
actually so sad.
But yeah, so what we're going to do, we're going to head out. This is a goodbye from Grogu over there.
Oh, are we not doing the cards today?
Nah, we'll do it next time.
We'll sort those out for
Goodbye
next
from
time.
Milo.
Goodbye.
And this is goodbye from me. Go subscribe, comment, tell us what they're going to tell us.
Who your favourite Star Wars character is?
Yeah, go tell us. And if it's not Grogu, he probably won't be happy. But yeah, peace out. Ciao.
Ciao.